Hi guys, the Tories truly need to get rid of Liz Truss. Things are looking more and more desperate for the party with each passing day. But removing the Prime Minister may not be enough, as polling that was talked about here on Sky News will confirm. The best the Conservatives could have hoped for following this crisis is a growing number of don't knows, people who are unsure which way to vote. But instead, a growing number of voters are switching directly from the Conservatives to Labour and not sitting on the fence. Have a listen to this.
Now, here's one reason why Labour are turning up the heat on the Prime Minister. A poll of polls analysed by Sky News shows the impact of the mini-budget. Now, we've got two charts. One shows the rolling average of the 10 latest polls from recognised pollsters. The first one shows a Labour lead over the Tories, averaging 27.6 points, the biggest since just after Labour's landslide in 1997, when Tony Blair had a 28-point lead. That was Mr Blair's honeymoon period. The poll of polls shows Labour 51, Tories 24.1, Lib Dems 9.9. But also, what is significant is what has really showed a big division between Labour and the Conservatives. Now, Labour took a lead around Partygate. The recent acceleration, though, shows that we're saying something we haven't seen in recent times. People who said they'd voted Conservative in 2019, according to these polls, are transferring directly to Labour. Previously, when the Conservative poll rating dipped, the transfer of 2019 Conservative voters was largely to don't know. Those poll findings will send alarm bells ringing amongst Tory MPs and indeed here in the Tory High Command, and shows why there is such a frenzied atmosphere in Parliament, which is likely to get even more frenzied over the coming few days.
Yes, definitely. This is wonderful to watch because you're seeing the entire Conservative Party imploding here. How did the Tories get out of this? Because one of the polls that were contained within this poll of polls said that the Tories are set to lose 219 seats. It'd be like, as he said here, the Tony Blair landslide of 1997. And some of the names included in that poll, or as a result of that poll, would be Jacob Rees-Mogg losing his seat, Boris Johnson losing his seat, and wait for this, the current Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, losing his seat. Can you imagine a situation where Boris Johnson, Jacob Rees-Mogg and Jeremy Hunt all lose their seats? I don't know about Liz Truss, but probably she would be out as well. It's hard to tell at this stage. But what is the way out of this? See, the Conservatives are in a bit of a fix because if they hold on to Liz Truss, well, things are going to get worse and worse. And I don't think that's a possible scenario because about 100 letters have been sent in to the 1922 committee, the one that will decide her fate. Probably what's going to happen is two other options. There's a general election, or they're going to replace Truss with somebody. They will just have a coronation of a new leader. There won't be a campaign to choose a new leader. The MPs will decide who the new leader is. And this, of course, will rub the members the wrong way. But I think the MPs are deeply concerned about holding on to their seat, so they want to replace Truss with someone. But as we saw in this report here, a big problem for them is the growing declining numbers of don't knows. Because at least with the don't know, if you replace the leader, perhaps you can win these people back. But if these voters, these 2019 voters, have shifted directly to the Labour Party, then your effort to bring them back is doubled. You need to convince them into the don't know bracket and then back into the Conservative bracket. And it's an unbelievable task because the situation is desperate. The economy is on its knees. Trust in politicians is at its lowest, especially trust in Conservative MPs and politicians. So your work, it's a mammoth task to bring these people back. So what will they do? Because if they go for a general election now, they're going to lose a lot of seats. But if they extend it out, if they wait for another 2 years, it's possible they lose even more seats. So there's a gamble for them. Should we go for an election now and hope for the best? Or should we wait for another 2 years with the idea that perhaps the economy will improve? But it's unlikely to improve for two reasons. Many of the factors are external, so you don't have any control over that. And secondly, Brexit, there's no sign of Brexit going away. So the UK economy is permanently damaged because of that. Permanently in the sense that unless Brexit is undone, it's not going to improve. So the Conservatives are in a bit of a fix, as I said. Do they go for election straight away and hopefully hang on to as many seats as possible, or do they hang on for 2 years, hoping that things will turn around and they'll be able to hold on to as many seats as possible? I don't think they can hold out for another 2 years. Whoever replaces Liz Truss will have very little public support because it takes the amount of work required to turn everything around will be practically impossible, because you're going to have members of the Conservative Party against you as well. And the party members will not be supportive of this either. So I think whoever's going to take over this will be accepting a poison chalice, and they will command very little support. But we'll have to see. This week is going to be very interesting. Liz Truss is likely to be deposed, and she could be out by the end of this week, or she could be out by the end of this month. It's not sure which way it will go. But either way, it's going to be very interesting, and we're going to see more and more pressure applied to the Conservatives by the Labour Party. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.